Without substantial awareness, change is nearly impossible to create. In this video, I'm going to share a few ways that you can cultivate awareness in your life and how that can help you make the changes that you'd like to make. I'm grateful to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. I will tell you a little bit more about them later. If you've ever heard the phrase, you don't know what you don't know, then you probably have a sense of just how important awareness is. It's nearly impossible to change something that you are not aware of. So if you have a behavior or a habit or something you're doing that you don't even realize you're doing, how are you supposed to make changes to your environment so that you can change the way you behave? Over the last couple of years, I've found a few things that have been particularly helpful in cultivating awareness of myself and around the world I'm living in, and I figured it would be fun to share those ideas with you. If you'd like to cultivate more awareness, one of the first places to look is judgment, specifically judgment of others. When you find yourself critiquing or criticizing other people or judging them for their actions, that tends to show a lack of compassion and understanding for why someone would behave that way. It also tends to come back to us. In a lot of ways, the world is a mirror, and the way we feel about other people can reflect a way that we are judging ourselves silently, putting ourselves in that position and saying, I'm going to judge that person because if I did that, I don't believe that I would be enough, and I would struggle to have self-compassion for me. So while it might be difficult and sometimes hard to see, start looking at the ways that you find yourself judging other people and see how it is that you are showing up in the world and how that judgment might be applying to you. It's a good opportunity for some self-compassion and self-exploration. When it comes to building self-awareness, a reflection practice can be essential. I've been working on this myself because it tends to be something that is difficult for people with ADHD. There tends to be a lot of just in the present, in the moment thinking without a ton of future planning or looking backwards to connect the dots between certain actions and consequences that occur. Think drinking coffee at 5 or 6 p.m. and then not being able to sleep that night and not really thinking about where that connection was made or why that happened. And so we can end up making the same mistakes over and over again. So that's one of the things to do. Essentially, at the end of the night, it can be over a glass of herbal tea or a mug, if you prefer mugs over glass. I don't know who puts hot tea in glasses, but that's all right. It can be any particular time throughout the day to just sit and give yourself a few moments to breathe and relax and really just write through some of the things that happened and then look at what you did. Sometimes it can be very vulnerable to take accountability, to take responsibility for the actions and then the consequences that came because of those actions. But that is all part of the work. The third thing I found very helpful in building self-awareness is small mindful moments throughout the day, something that triggers a reflection or a slowing down and breathing moment. A lot of the time for me, it will be when I am getting in or out of the car. It can be anywhere for you. It can be every time you walk through a doorway, you just check in with yourself, you take a deep breath in through your nose, and really just breathe it out and just feel what you're feeling. Check where you are. Are you anxious? Are you tired? What is your body asking for in that moment? Helping to cultivate that awareness can help you connect the dots to actions and consequences. If you're feeling irritated and impatient, you'll know that you're not going to be as patient with other people, thus causing you to, well, react more easily and be angry, and emotions tend to become more intense in those settings. And it's completely up to you how you do that. It can be an hourly chime that you set on your watch. It can be any time you're transitioning from one place to another. Create something for you that will help you check in with yourself to get grounded and know what you need, because that awareness will help you have much better of a fighting chance of making better decisions for yourself when your emotions are more regulated and you'll actually be able to, well, be aware of where you are and what you need going forward. Here's one super bonus tip as well that applies to every other tip and every aspect of self-awareness. Our ego will only let us see what it is safe enough for us to see. So if some level of awareness of seeing ourselves in a true light is too dangerous because we will be so judgmental of ourselves and so cruel to ourselves in the way that we feel shame and beat ourselves up about what we see, our ego will just simply protect us from seeing it. We will deny it, we will defend ourselves, we will not see the truth of what's actually happening. So that means that self-compassion, practicing bit by bit, trying to be kind to ourselves is essential in actually seeing the truth, actually seeing what is. So keep that in mind as you're practicing all of these other things. I would love to know what are some of the things that you've done to cultivate awareness in your own life. These are 3 of the things that I've really been focusing on for the last year or 2, and they've been wildly helpful in helping me see my own patterns in the ways that I want to change how I'm showing up in the world. Once again, I'd like to thank Skillshare for sponsoring this video, and I will tell you more about them right now. Skillshare, of course, is an online learning community for creative and curious people. Skillshare can help you make 2022 a year of learning, connection, and growth through a very creative community. If you have a specific skill you'd like to learn, Skillshare is an amazing place to start. I paid for an annual membership to Skillshare myself because I love everything they have to offer. It is specifically curated for learning with no distractions or advertisements, and it just pretty much has everything. Thankfully, my cacti seedlings are thriving and surviving thanks to this class that I took about succulent and cacti care. And I haven't taken it yet, but as soon as I'm ready to start illustrating these things, there's a course for that too. The first 1,000 people to click the link in the description box or use my code BREAKTHETWITCH will get a free 1-month trial to Skillshare. And I highly encourage you to check them out. It's legit. Thanks again for your attention. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you soon.